this is an episode that should have been episode 1 of season 2, but it had to fall down in the line for the video episode that aired in its place. So for those that haven't seen episode 1 of this season, I did the first video for the podcast on that episode, and instead of this coming out like I had promised in the trailer for season 2, I aired that video because it was more monumental than this. But anyway, I have decided to still do this episode. The reason it has then delayed from that time on and missed being 2, 3, 4, or 5, because trust me, I think this is like episode 15 of season 2. I really can't explain, but here it is. So for those that listened to the trailer, you'll remember that I had promised an exciting announcement for this season and for the podcast, for the 5 to 9 job podcast. So without further ado, let's get into this episode. Hello listeners, and welcome back to your 5 to 9 job. My name is Raymond and I am excited for today's episode, and before I tell you why, I'm going to give you some context so you can sort of understand this decision and the opportunity that you might even be part of anyway. So at the beginning of the year, while I was doing my reflections and resolutions like we all did, I decided on a sort of new vision for the podcast and literally a lot of the projects that I'm involved in. But yes, so for this podcast, I wanted to use this platform to be a place whereby I lifted the tide, to raise the tide, to be part of work and projects that help to raise other people. So a specific example would be in instituting projects that celebrate other creators, that help to give listeners a voice or a chance to use this platform to try out what podcasting is all about, how to do it, and a platform to submit an episode that can be aired without you having to go through all the logistics, just to sort of try it out sincerely and see if we can maybe find the next Steve Bartlett or Joe Rogan or even Donald Trump, though we don't do politics here. But that was a simple idea. The idea was to create a platform whereby we can lift others. That is the whole thing of raising the tide and lifting the tide, so that I am part of these projects that raise other people. The concept of lifting others is rooted in this belief that success isn't just a limited resource. It is about creating an environment where collaboration, generosity, and this sort of shared growth leads us to better outcomes. So it leads us to better outcomes for everyone involved, not just for you as the person who is lifting others up, or for the people that are being lifted up, but literally for everyone involved. So if we have a platform, for example, for people to try and fail without the downside, then we can build a more active podcast community. A community maybe of, like, let's say, public speakers like Vusi, communities of presenters and listeners as well, for the whole industry, I should say, for the whole podcast industry, for the whole creative industry. These efforts can help others if we just sort of created a platform whereby communicators, speakers, okay, like public speakers, podcasters, radio presenters, a platform for them to try it out and fail, And I shouldn't say want to be or wanna be presenters and podcasters, but literally for anyone that is interested in it and has seen that maybe my vision might be pointing me towards this kind of work. Because you realize the culture in our time here is that if you want to fail, you're going to actually have to bear all the downside. So it doesn't really, I should say, incentivize people to try new things, simply because they have already been entrenched in this whole education system whereby you're supposed to go to school, you're supposed to do this, and then you're supposed to find a good job. When you become a DJ, you are considered a failure. When you become a podcaster, you are considered moving outside of what normal is. You are considered abnormal. So if we are able to create this sort of platform whereby people can actually, just try it out and see if this is working or if it was just a pipe dream. A visual here is, if you imagined a harbor where ships are parked. So when the tide rises, when the level of water rises, all the other boats, the small boats, the big boats, all rise. It's easier for everyone to move around. Bigger ships can dock. And that's what I'm referring to. When you make it easier and better for everyone in the industry, or even everyone outside of the industry, it just sort of helps to allocate more opportunities to others, resources, and you find that when you pay it forward to others, it sort of also makes your work easier and it just raises all the boats, you know? When you help someone succeed, it often creates this ripple effect that benefits the larger community. If, let me say, a creator, if you helped a creator today and maybe you innovate something tomorrow that inspires them, supports them to do their work, it then affects and attracts opportunities, resources, and recognition for everyone that is involved. So let me say if you helped a creator to release a song, that song then goes on to be a hit, or maybe it's not. And but simply by helping them, they will tell someone else that you helped them. So that is more opportunities for you. And maybe it is a hit and people actually look to see, wow, who was involved in this piece of work. And that's how you literally get your, I should say, clout. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about this concept and emphasize it that there is strength in the networks, there is strength in collaboration. Collaboration breeds innovation, resilience, and when people support each other, they share knowledge, ideas, resources, it accelerates progress. I want to dispel this whole myth that when you share things, you are giving your competition a leg over you. It's not all about competition. Sometimes you have to think more than you to see the bigger picture. And that's where this whole thing of gratification from the impact you do from your work comes in. When you share ideas and you're helping people to grow, there is that gratification that only comes to you that is not a benefit to the person that you are helping. So, again, just to drive the point before I go on rambling, for those that have competitor anxiety, think of Silicon Valley. It thrives because of a culture of mentorship, sharing ideas, and investing in others' success. It has become this whole global hub of innovation just because the people there don't just build for themselves, they build for the collective, like they raise the collective. We have this whole illusion outside here that these guys are sworn enemies, they don't work together, they don't talk. But a good example is Apple and Microsoft. These guys are a good example of rivals that are in the same industry, or at least in multiple similar industries, that look like they are very big enemies, but these guys are working together in the background. Trust me, when you go and look at the number of projects Microsoft has partnered with Apple on, you'll be surprised. So that's this whole thing that, sometimes you have to put away the competition. So, how are we doing this as the 5 to 9 job? One is that we introduced a creator of the week segment for the bonus episodes, anyway, that drops every Wednesday. We are trying to start this culture whereby we feature a creator or encourage people to go and follow them. And we feature one creator every Wednesday. So every bonus episode, we find someone that we have engaged with their content, we like what they are saying, and then we just push traffic towards them. That's one way to sort of raise the collective, because if you are promoting other people, it shows that you have good faith. So we are doing this within the episode, we are doing this on the socials, we are trying to, let me say, if we can get to collaborate with them on content, we will also do that. And then the second part, which I am particularly experimenting on, is with opening up the platform or the podcast for guest hosting. So yes, now you can be a guest host, or a co-host or a guest. But anyway, even easier than before, you can become a guest host. And what I mean by guest hosting is that you can literally record yourself talking like I am doing right now, send that clip to us, and we'll air it as an episode hosted by you on the 5 to 9 job, yes, but it is completely your work. You have rights to it. We are simply being the platform on which you are sharing your thoughts, your ideas. Obviously, we have a few guidelines and everything. I was actually surprised by the house rules I asked Timothy to draw up. They are very comprehensible. You can understand everything. And we have this idea that we can create a place where people can just try it out for 1, 2 episodes and see if you like it. Trust me, if you did an episode, by the second or by the third, you actually know if you are a good podcast host or if this is something you would like to continue going into. We might need to, let me say, create a separate day for it, but that's not a problem. We are literally already putting out 3 episodes a week. So we can move a few things around and actually create that platform for you. So if you have an idea for a podcast or for an episode, just inbox me on IG, on TikTok, wherever you are listening to this podcast, or you can inbox me on my Gmail. So our Gmail is at the 5 to 9 job. So the, all small caps, the 5 2 to 9 and then job, all in small, at gmail.com. So if you send us your submission, obviously we want to make sure that you are protected, and I am protected. That's why that one pager legal is there. But otherwise, trust me, we're not going to try to take your content. We're just building the infrastructure for you to actually experiment. And then once you send it in, we'll have to definitely review and see if this matches what we want to put out there, because this is our platform. We still get to decide what is, I should say, communicated out there with our brand. So there will be like a simple review, and then we'll definitely air it as an independent episode. So everything will be to you. You can send your, I should say, socials, whatsoever you want anyone to listen to. We'll agree, and then we air the episode. I mean, this whole experiment is very crazy. The idea that I have, we have other ways we are going to be trying to, I should say, achieve this goal, and we'll gradually roll them out. But this one, I strongly believe in it. I should say it doesn't sound like it is well thought out right now, but I want to break free from that whole analysis paralysis and trying to, perfect the model before I actually put it out there. So we are going to definitely have a few runs and then a few failures, and we shall learn from all those and adapt. But otherwise, from the 5 to 9 job podcast, I hope that you guys take advantage of this. I don't know how many people actually listening to this episode, but if you would like to trust, or if you would like to try this out, just kindly reach out to me at the 5 to 9job at gmail.com, on TikTok, on Instagram. We can talk the rest over. So just let me know what's your take on this. Is it something that I am risking my platform on? Would you like me to expand on any of the points, or do you relate to them? Do you think this is a good idea? Just let me know. Otherwise, thank you for listening to the 5 to 9job podcast. Please share this with someone, a creator that you think might be, or might, I should say, benefit from this whole thing. Otherwise, from the 5 to 9job, my name is Raymond, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.